where I worked primarily with young children or children with special needs. So I really loved my job because it gave me a sense of contribution. And I knew every day when I was going to my job, I was making some sort of difference, even if it was a small difference in someone's life. Monica, did you want to mute the background? Could you do that? Thanks. So when my husband and I got married, we found out we were having twins a few months after that. And we just kind of decided we were going to play it by ear, but we decided that after my maternity leave, I would stay home and raise the kids. It just didn't make sense for me to return to my job because I wouldn't be making what it would be worth to leave my kids. So I stayed home with the boys, and the first year was a blur. To, you know, as an understatement, it was definitely a blur. And I just found myself exhausted. I found myself being very temperamental. And I just didn't have any energy to be the kind of mom and wife that I thought I was going to be. I had an idea that the house would always, you know, as a stay-at-home mom, that I would always have a clean house and cooked meals and laundry done. And my life didn't add up to that. And it was because I just didn't have the energy throughout the day to do everything I wanted to do. So I lived off caffeine. I drank coffee about 4 or 5 cups a day. And it was when I saw an advertisement on a buy and sell page for a brand new coffee machine. It was a brand new Keurig. And I thought, you know, it would be a great idea for me to buy that and put it on my bedside table so I could roll over in the morning and make myself a cup of coffee. And so I purchased it. The lady I bought it from, funny enough, her son slept in 45-minute increments. So she never slept. He's the exact same age as the twins. And people would buy her coffee machines as gag gifts because she literally lived off caffeine. She's now a sales coordinator on my team, but it was just funny how you meet people. And again, through social media, through a buy and sell on Facebook. So when I brought the coffee machine home, my husband kind of questioned my sanity at that point. And that's when he said, you know, you can't live off coffee. You need to figure this out. You need to do something. And I had seen Alyssa Harriman's posts on Facebook. Alyssa and I went to high school together. We were neighbors at one point, and she had kind of been somebody I would look to for nutritional advice. I never really sought her out. I never paid her for her services. She was just a friend that would give me free advice. But when I saw her posts on Juice Plus, it was, again, this idea of, you know, selling something online. But I thought, you know, she must have something here because I know she wouldn't risk her reputation just to sell a product just to make a buck. And that's when I reached out to her and just wanted more information. And I also wanted her opinion on what I could do, what kind of food was superfood that I could eat to implement in my diet to give me the energy. She shared her story of her son Jackson with me. And I honestly, I'm impulsive. I went in blind. I didn't really care about the research. It was great that it was there, but I trusted her. It was my relationship with her that really made my decision. So, and I'll touch on the importance of relationships later. So I ordered the 3-blend, the shakes for my husband because he was doing the Vega shakes at the time. And I ordered a Tower Garden. She offered me the business very casually. So she just said, you know, there is a business to this. It's only $50 and you'd be saving about this much. It wasn't a sales pitch. It wasn't uncomfortable. I definitely wasn't looking for any kind of business by any means. I literally couldn't even get my laundry done. So I just signed up for the discount. And I didn't sign on to my virtual office. I didn't respond to any emails, nothing until I think it was a week or two by the end of the month. And she said, you know, with your order, you got this and this, so you could get a $300 bonus before the end of the month. So I called a couple friends. They joined as distributors, and it kind of snowballed from there. In my first 5 weeks, I got to sales coordinator. In my first 9 months, I got to senior sales. And in 2 years, I think it was 2 years, I got to Q. And then now I'm just on my way to NMD. So not to say boastfully, I mean, I didn't get there in 10 months like some people. I didn't get there in 4 months like some people. I'm really proud of the speed that I did get there, only because I did it hiding behind a computer. I was really shy, really introverted. Didn't know really a lot about nutrition other than fruits and vegetables were healthy. So I didn't have, and I had 1-year-old twins, so I wasn't out doing events and talking to people. So for me, it was all about sharing my life and sharing my experience on Facebook. Some people can be really uncomfortable with that because they don't like to share it, but it was because I trusted and knew Alyssa, and she had built a relationship with me on Facebook that I went with her. So for me, using social media is about showing my life, showing who I am, showing my children drinking their shakes. Not salesy. My Facebook doesn't look like a catalog. It's snippets of my day-to-day life. I post around 2 to 3 times on Facebook. I'm purposeful with my posts. When I do post, it's something that I've seen that I've been inspired to do and to share. And it can be something simple like sharing the boys drinking their shake in the morning. It could be something simple like showing the capsules I'm taking, or just having Juice Plus in the background. So if I'm adding a new friend to Facebook and they kind of flip through a couple of pages, they know right away that I'm a Juice Plus rep. There's a lot of people that know what Juice Plus is. They just haven't found someone that maybe sells it or haven't been asked to try it. So when somebody kind of flips through my Facebook, then they can kind of see that. And as far as the business, I mean, I joined because after my maternity ended, it was nice to earn my own money. I wasn't very comfortable having to ask somebody for money. So after my maternity leave ended and I didn't return to a job, I didn't have my own income. So asking my husband or making sure that there was money in our account to go grocery shopping was not very comfortable for me. So for me, earning my income was about me staying home and being able to raise my kids. Now they're almost 4, so they're going off to school. So my why is definitely changing because I don't necessarily have to stay home with them. I can go out and get a traditional job. One of the things I've discovered is my husband is very successful at his job and he makes really good money. So one of the things I've noticed in people's languages in the last couple of years is Dave's house. Dave paid for vacation. That's Dave's truck. Everything is Dave, Dave, Dave. I just took my family down to Florida for 10 days. And my parents are old school. You know, my dad had the union job, made really good money. My mom worked. Her money was more like play money. So when we're down there, everything is Dave. Dave paid for dinner. Dave paid for this. And I'm finding myself getting angry. And I need to step up and really embrace that I'm a successful businesswoman and I've been successful with this business. So my why now is more about being valid and being seen as a contribution to my family, not just, you know, the pretty mom that makes dinner and cleans the floors and has the little Tupperware job or something on the side. So it's funny how in this business your why will change, and go with that change and use it, because there's another woman out there that maybe her husband's a doctor and you're looking at her thinking she doesn't need this business, but she's definitely looking at it because she wants to be seen and valid and she wants to be able to contribute to her businesses or to the family as well. So Monica, did you have any specific questions or specific topics you wanted me to go over?
I do, but you're doing such an incredible job at sharing that I'm like, I'm just going to sit here laid back and I'm just going to let you talk because you tapped on so many subjects. And thank you so much for really talking about the fact that, you know, how hard for you is to rely on your husband and not having your own money, because this is something that a lot of women are dealing with in this business, and that's one reason why they come on this business, to become independent financially, to feel more secure and more worthy, right? Because their worth is growing with their personal development. So speaking of personal development and relationships, we all know that, you know, when we come in on this business, we come with so much baggage, and you know, personal development takes you and just like unveil you. It just wraps one layer at a time and just gets rid of all the baggages that you have. And maybe you want to share some tools, books, you know, what are you doing to improve your confidence, to develop yourself as a leader, and what do you do with your team in that department?
So one of the things that I had a hard time with in the beginning because my upline was such a nerd. Alyssa's really into reading. So she can read a book in a couple days. I hate reading. Like, I can think of a million other things I'd rather do than read, but I do want the knowledge from the book.
Right.
I'm a natural multitasker. I think that's why God gave me twins. So I love audiobooks. So I will buy audiobooks on my iPhone, put my headphones in. I can vacuum, I can shower, I can do my makeup, I can sit in my car and drive. I can do everything. I can listen to, I think there was one day, I think I listened to like 3 books in a day. And if I really like the book, then I'll buy the actual hardcover of it to take notes if I want to create a presentation or something out of it. But yeah, definitely books, and not just books on network marketing per se. Like Mary Christensen has a lot of great books on network marketing. Sarah Robbins as well, Jim Rohn, obviously. But other books too about, Keurig Ashley has a great book called, I forget what it's called, something about love, where the love is, or something like that. Shonda Rhimes has a really great book on the year of yes. Other books that are going to kind of open and expand you to thinking like successful people, and reading, obviously reading books that successful people have written, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, things like that. So I do that a lot. I could do probably a better job of training my team on that. So doing like weekly calls are really key, and really tapping into those, because you have, I mean, you guys have Monica as a leader. So you have these calls, you have leaders kind of sharing their insights and their tips and tricks. So definitely tapping into that. We all are busy. So I see one lady here, looks like she's making dinner, which is awesome because she's multitasking. I have to multitask all the time. So finding ways to incorporate the business day to day into what you're already doing and sharing that. So I'm huge on social media because there's so many moms out there thinking, you know, I have soccer and I have a job and I have this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's so funny because there's so many people that are busy, but I actually, as a stay-at-home mom, had to create busy in order to network and meet people. So for those people that are going to a job or going to soccer, you have a huge range of people that you can network with. So you work the business then. Whereas for me, I was at home, like literally homebound with 1-year-old twins. So I had to create networking groups. I had to create meeting with women, having like strangers to my house to make lunches for kids. So definitely tap into those things as well. As far as social media, some tips, depending on how comfortable you are, pick the platform that you're most comfortable with. So mine is Facebook, and I incorporate Instagram into that. I still really don't understand Twitter, so I don't even bother to go there. And I don't really understand Snapchat either. But I love using Facebook. So a lot of the times I'll link my Instagram to my Facebook. So when I share on Instagram, it will show up on my Facebook as well. So I'm getting two birds stoned at once, if you will. Just sharing my life, just sharing what I'm doing, because what's going to happen is people buy you, not what you do. So I have a lady that's a distributor for a company that I absolutely love their product, love it. Bought it from her, did a party with her. The idea was I did a party for her, she did a party for me. So I did the party for her, great sales, got all this product, so in love with it. She didn't do the party for me. There was no customer support. There was no group that I was added to. There was no email. There was no follow-up call. There was nothing. Now I'm in a position where I want to buy more product, but I honestly don't even want to buy from her because I don't feel like she deserves it. She didn't maintain a relationship with me, and I honestly would rather give my sale to somebody else. So building and maintaining relationships with customers, prospects. And a lot of the time I'll see distributors try to build relationships with people to see if they'll join their team. And if they don't, they kind of move on. Don't do that. Because people, they feel that and they feel used, and they get angry and they have a bad taste in their mouth. Some distributors are going to take you years and years and years. So Janice, for instance, I bought my coffee machine. A year after we met, she joined my business. She didn't do anything with the business. A year after that, she joined my business. Didn't do a lot, but now she's like, okay, I want to do this. So if I had to kind of shut the door on her in the beginning, then who knows? So this is like, if you're like me, you're in this business for the long haul. So you're looking at, depending how old you are, like I'll be doing this for the next 30 years of my life. So there's no rush. There's no rush for me to get this personal trainer in, get this nutritionist in. And if they don't, move on. Like, just love people and grow on people and drip on them and be authentic and let them know that you're still doing this and that you still believe in this. So a lot of the times we see people join businesses and they'll saturate their social media or have a bunch of parties or do a bunch of phone calls, and it's all this business. And then they don't get the success, or they get busy with other things. And then it appears to the public like they weren't successful and they gave up, even if they didn't. So definitely be consistent, figure out what you're comfortable with in sharing, and make a point if you have to do a post-it note saying, did you post on social media today? Definitely share, definitely be cognizant of how much you're posting. And it could be just being in people's faces. There's a lot of different posts you can do to see who's following you. So I did one the other day on what movie traumatized you as a child. So I think I got 103 comments and who knows how many likes. But what that did, the reason I did that, I don't really give a shit what movie traumatized you as a kid. It's kind of fun, but I don't really care. But what I saw from that is a list of all the people that my stuff shows up in their newsfeed. And then when I look at my other friends, because I have 3,800, then I know that there's a bunch of people that I might not be showing up. So what I need to do then is to go into my friends list, find a random 10 people a day, just go through their Facebook profile, like a bunch of stuff, and then the algorithms will kind of pass them on, and then they'll show up in my feed or I'll show up in them. Another thing I do is if there's somebody that I like following on social media, like Katie Ravey, Olivia Measure, Sinead Kavanagh, these ladies have maxed out their friend lists. So I can't friend them to see what they're doing. So I'll follow them instead. And I'm not ashamed to say that I've copied word for word things that they have done, or I'll kind of fit it, because if it's working for them, then it's going to work for me. Try to be obviously as authentic as you can. Make it fit you. But there's some things like that Sinead will write, because she's such an awesome chick. But there's some things that she'll write and I'm like, there's no way I could better word that. So I'm just going to copy that. So I would never have a problem with people copying my stuff, because if it's going to help grow your business, I don't care. But what I'll do is, if I do see someone that I'm interested in on Facebook, so if we have more than 5 mutual friends on Facebook, I'll add you as a friend on Facebook. And if you accept, that's awesome. I've had some people, obviously I've never met, and they'll say, are we friends? And I say, no, I use social media. I work in network marketing, and I use social media to network and meet new people, and let them add me if they want. But what I'll do is, if there's somebody, like there was a lady the other day, and a lot of her Facebook page was about holistic living and eating healthy. So she's definitely a great candidate for as a prospect. So I'll go into my friend list, and you can only add so many people in the default to see first. So there's a default that's the follow default. So you can either click see first, but you can only use I think you can only do 10 people, or you can go into edit friend list and change that person to a close friend. It's like a little star. So that will, every time that lady posts, I will see it. So I can kind of follow her and see what she's up to. And then when it's the right time, I can incorporate this business or this product, or even, hey, I see that you do this makeup thing. Let's do a party together, and I can do the berry capsule facial, and you can do this makeup, whatever. So I'll do that a lot of the time. But at the end of the day, if you're not present on Facebook and you don't have a positive kind of rapport on Facebook, nobody's going to want to follow you. So I personally always keep it positive, but I keep it as real as possible. I live a really positive, happy life, so I don't really have a lot of negative stuff anyway. But obviously there's things that happen. I don't go on rants about how some guy cut me off in traffic. It's not going to serve anyone. So try to be as positive, but be consistent so you're showing up on those feeds, and start building relationships. Because when you do reach out to Sally, then you've already built a virtual relationship with her. So she's going to trust you, and she's going to listen to what you have to say. Anything else?
That's amazing, Jenny. You guys just experienced the best, fastest training on social media that you can possibly get. How smart she is with social media. Yeah. you have to love what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to work. That's great, Jenny. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, I'm going to lock two questions in one because they're so connected into each other. So challenges in this business, plenty. Everywhere you look, you're going to bump into challenges. How important is to have a vision so you can get what you want?
That's a great question. Yeah, there's a slew of challenges. Your biggest challenge in this business will probably be yourself. That's been my biggest challenge. I've hit a roadblock, if you will, with my business, and it's called an upper limit problem. So if you've read the book called The Big Leap, it's by Gay Hendricks. It's a great book, but he talks about how we will self-sabotage when we don't feel like we deserve certain successes. So we'll get to a point, and then if we don't feel like we deserve to get to the next point, we'll self-sabotage, and it's called an upper limit problem. Or we'll look for problems in our life to sabotage that. So that's been my biggest challenge. But at the end of the day, when my biggest push, it's kind of comes from a negative place, but my biggest push in this business is to prove all the people that said I couldn't do this wrong. I've had a lot of friends literally laugh in my face when I told them, my goal is to make $10,000 a month and then go up from there. Like, I've literally had people laugh in my face. So anytime that I'm challenged in the fact that I feel like quitting or giving up, because I think we've all been there. I've been there. I don't think there's an NMD that hasn't wanted to give up or quit. I just think about, well, then that person that laughed in my face is going to be right. And I can't let that happen. And that's my drive. But Michelle Ball says it the best, like, you can't get somewhere unless you know where you're going. So having that end goal, it doesn't matter if you take I-75 to Florida or if you go the scenic route and you take a bunch of little roads, just as long as you get there. But if you let all of those construction signs or detours stop you from continuing on heading south, then you'll never get there, right? So you definitely have to be clear about what you want. And I'm more of a person that I have the big goal. I have no idea how to get there, but it's there. And then I build little goals underneath that and then accomplish those. So for those of you that are either new to the business or you have new teammates, definitely create small goals. And small goals could be, posting 3 times on social media for a month. And once they achieve that, then the next step, or it could be a bigger goal, like getting to the next promotional level. But you definitely have to be clear about what you want, because if you don't know where you're going, then you're going to get anywhere, really, and nowhere at the same time. So does that answer that?
That's an incredible way to put it. There's a little video with Lauren Slocum that I shared on my team page a few weeks ago. She explains what you just explained in a very simple way. She goes, like, imagine you go on a fancy restaurant out for dinner, and they bring you a bag of chips. And those who are getting off track, they go for the bag of chips. So by the time the dinner comes on the table, you're not hungry anymore.
Yeah.
And those who have a vision and a focus on where they want to go, they're like, no, I'll wait for the dinner because it's great and it's expensive. Yeah. So, that's the only thing. That's exactly how the business works, is you need to have a vision. You need to know exactly what you want and where you're going. And everybody's going to feel several times, all the time, that you want to quit. You're going to bump into challenges, but it's those who keep going no matter what that will get to where they want. So.
Well, and you know what else? It's like I said, like, I'm going to be doing this for the next 30, 40 years. So it doesn't really matter when I get to where I want to get. It's still going to be there. Like, time's still going to pass anyway. So it's just having that clear vision of, this is a long-term gig. It's not going to happen overnight. And if it does, then is it really stable? No. So go there at your pace and get there on your terms. Do you know what I mean? So regardless of what your goal is, definitely do it authentically, and I don't want to
Just be
just try to
consistent.
but
Keep the consistency.
like
Keep the
just know that
consistency.
this business, it's not like you're going to get somewhere and then all of a sudden you're going to stop. Like the NMDs that are 100 clubs, they're still doing the exact same activities they did when they first started.
Right.
Like it's just enjoying this, not as a destination, but enjoying this journey of meeting people every day and helping people every day, and being to connect with people all over the world. Just enjoy that journey. And if that means you get a reward with a promotion or a bonus or an all expense paid weekend or whatever it is, don't focus on, just focus on having fun and doing it. Because people, one of the things I felt early on was, I had to get this promotion or I had to get qualified, and it made me desperate and it made me really ugly to people. Right? Like trying to get orders in just to get qualified. Like just enjoy the journey. Yeah.
And I think the relaxed mode comes as you go along with personal growth, with getting more comfortable to figure out how to do things, right?
Yeah.
That's great, Jenny. So that's about it for me. Now, what I would like to open the line. Maybe anyone has any questions for Jenny?
I'll ask a question.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Jenny. I'm just wondering, in your experience, what was, the longest period of time that you kept dripping on somebody and eventually they kind of like caught sight of what you were doing, right? Because I've had that recently happen
for you.
And
you were right about the shoulders. You got.
So can you mute yourself, please?
And I couldn't get it to release or to let go because you've had it for a while, eh?
Esther, mute yourself. I think she's in a massage therapy with a client, and she's listening.
Yeah. If you get a chance, and I know you're going on vacation to Italy, so probably stretching or rolling my back is not on my list of things to do. But if you have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball,
we can hear her conversation.
And then just try to roll
Let me text her.
Lean against the wall and just try and roll it out.
Well, at least it's just a massage. This could have been a lot worse.
There's quite a bit of difference between the two.
And at least there's no video, right?
That would be even more fun.
I don't know. Hopefully that helps a bit. Make sure to drink some extra water tonight.
That's multitasking at its best.
Yes. Yeah.
And I will meet you upstairs. And do you prefer to have your receipts?
Oh my God, this is so funny.
Yeah. Okay.
So is she a massage therapist?
Yes, she is.
Yeah. So it's a good. Well, we know she's a clean massage therapist. She didn't offer a happy ending, so that's good. Can you imagine? Man.
Okay.
So live this one down, though, Jenny.
Oh, good boy.
Now she's talking to her dog.
Do you want to maybe end her session?
Yeah. So, Don, what were you saying? Go ahead.
So the question was, how long did I drip on someone before I got them to join, or?
I'm just because, I've been in the business for just over 4 years, and there's many times you think about quitting and giving up on people. And, I'm just wondering, what your experience has been on your journey.
So there's two ways that I would approach somebody like that. So again, building a relationship and just being their friend and just letting them know. And, we do as distributors obvious things like, hey, you want to join me for a night of inspiration? Or, hey, do you want to order? Or we ask questions and people kind of never give us a real answer because they don't want to, right? Nobody wants to say, I don't have the money for that, or I don't believe in that, because they don't want to hurt our feelings. So what I do is, if it's somebody like that, I will just say, you know what, this is something I really believe in, and I would love you to try the product and be part of my team, but I want you to know I really value our friendship. So if that's something that doesn't feel good to you, that's totally fine. I don't want my business to really make you feel uncomfortable, right? So they know where you're coming from, and that, hey, you're still valuable as a person to me, because I find sometimes when we share the business or the product with people, they don't even answer our phone calls because they don't want to have to say no again, right? So putting it out there. And another thing is, and this is kind of tricky, But if you know someone, like what I'll do a lot of the times, if there's somebody like that's on my chicken list, like I'm really like, I don't even know how to approach this doctor or this whatever, somebody that I feel is above me, right? We all have those people. We feel like, how could I possibly talk to this nutritionist about Juice Plus? Like I was an EA. What do I know, right? We always have this. But what I'll do is, if it's somebody that I can, I'll befriend their cousin or their sister or somebody else that they really trust and have a good relationship with, and I'll build the belief in that person. And then, you know, say your chicken list person or the person you've been dripping on, her name's Sally. So I'll be really, really good and get Sandy to kind of join. And then all of a sudden Sandy's doing this, and Sally is really good friends with Sandy, or that's her sister, and she really believes in her. So it's like Sally's thinking, well, if Sandy gets this, Jenny's been talking to me about this for a long time. So I'm going to miss out on something. I remember it was Pam. What's Pam Shepley's sister's name? Gretchen?
Gretchen.
I don't remember which one joined first, but I think Gretchen joined first. And then Pam, the reason she joined is because she didn't want her sister to be more successful and kind of leave her behind. So when you're looking at someone you've been dripping on for a long time, if you can find somebody that's like their Pam, do you know what I mean? That you can kind of work on, or you feel more comfortable kind of, not working on, that sounds terrible, but you know what I mean? Kind of sharing and getting them to do it. And then that way it's kind of another, like it's like a third party validation that you've kind of snuck in there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. That family.
And you know what? Not everyone's going to join the business, and not everyone's going to get it, and that's fine too. And with people, like I've had a lot of nutritionists, like, because nutritionists, I'm sorry if there's any, but they can be really arrogant. So especially with things like supplements and multi-level marketing. And I'll say, you know what, I don't even want to sell you. I don't even care if you buy from me. I just really want to know what your objections are. I really want to know your opinion, just to see where they're coming from. So you can answer, you know, further objections kind of down the line, because they all kind of maybe think the same.
That's great. Thank you, Jenny. We have almost a minute to go, so we have to wrap it up. But I just want to thank you for sharing from the heart and from the smart. You are absolutely incredible on what you're doing. You're an amazing friend. I cannot thank you enough for everything you're doing, and for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share with my team here. Of course. Guys, feel free to follow her. There's a lot to learn from her. Don't shy away. She will add you as a friend. And I will see you in the weekend at the regionals this weekend in Toronto. We have an event, a great event coming up. And I will see you at the lawn. Congrats again for your new SSC. Really proud of you. Really
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Jenny.
Have a great night.
Bye.
If you want the recording, I will have it, Jenny.
Okay. Yeah, I can share it with my team. Thanks,
okay.
Mom.
Awesome.
Okay, bye.
Okay, good night, guys. Have a good night.